Hey guys, really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment below. Thanks a mil! So the first product that I'm popping on the skin is the Inglot HD Yellow Primer. What this is going to do for my skin is take down any redness, and it also helps to control oil, so prolonging the wear of my foundation. The second product I'm applying to my skin is an illuminating primer from a gorgeous mineral makeup brand called Joko. I'm applying this to the highest part of my face just to give it an extra glow. So the next step in this tutorial is to apply my foundation. The foundation I'm using today is Bourjois Healthy Mix number 52. It's kind of a medium tan shade. It has a good medium to full coverage and it gives the skin a beautiful glow. While the coverage is beautiful from my Bourjois Healthy Mix foundation, I'm just going to add another little bit of coverage using MAC Full Coverage to just specific areas on the face. Now what I'm going to do is just set my face with a translucent powder from Rimmel. One of my favourite powders is called Match Perfect. Sorry, it's actually not called Match Perfect, it's called Perfect Match Powder for all over the face. Anyway. So what I'm doing now is brightening underneath the eyes. I'm just using an Inglot sculpting powder in shade 503. This just really brightens up the skin. Now what I'm going to do is contour my cheeks. So I'm contouring underneath the cheekbone, bringing it up to the side of the temple and onto the forehead. This is just going to really sculpt my face and define it. A lot of people are unsure as to where your contour actually goes. It goes in the hollow underneath your cheekbone. So if you place your finger across your cheekbone, you will feel it. I find when you're contouring the skin, the lighter your hand is and the softer the brush touches your face, the better the contour you get. It just gives a more diffused, soft finish. What I'm doing here is basically just sharpening up my contour with a little bit of a matte highlighting powder from my NYX palette. Moving on to more of a shimmery highlight, I'm using the Revolution Vivid Baked Highlighter in shade Peach to brighten my skin up. I truly am obsessed with highlighter, hence why I use such glowing primers underneath my foundation as well as my highlighting powder. Okay, so moving on to the eyes, the part that everyone loves, I'm just using a little bit of 381 Inglot shadow just on the brow bone to brighten it up. Now moving on to 335, which is like a burnt orange shadow, again from Inglot, and I'm just working that into the crease of the eye in circular motions. I'm really bringing it into the inner crease and towards the brow as well. Now moving on to my next shadow, just to deepen it up slightly into the crease, using the same circular motions going slightly below my transition colour. So I'm continuing to work with these two colours, blending the shadows, especially upwards on the inside of the eye, so that when I do go in to cut the crease out, that there is a bit of depth and definition above the crease. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh yeah, poke myself in the eye. Good woman, Michelle. Sometimes if you're not getting the right colour payoff, or if you feel the shadow you're using just isn't as deep as you want, if you use a patting motion, it actually compacts the colour onto the eye and really packs it into place, and you can blend away the edge after that. These kind of colours that I'm using, the warm browns and the kind of burnt oranges, are beautiful on blue eyes. They're great on any eye colour, but especially blue eyes. So the next step that I'm going to do here is I'm basically just going to blend out the edges, make sure it's really soft, and then move on to cutting the inner part of my crease. So to do this, I'm actually using a concealer. The concealer I'm using is a MAC Studio Finish Concealer in shade NW60. Oh, sorry, not NW16. No, NC15. Sorry, wrong shade. And I'm just basically patting that onto the lid and dragging it outwards. Then what I'm going to do is just soften the edge of it to make sure that when I do pat my shadow onto the lid, it just blends into the shadow I already have there seamlessly. We don't want any lines or any harsh lines, basically stopping our blend going from our concealer into our darkest shadow. what I'm doing here is I'm packing on number 51 and number 296, both Inglot eyeshadows, straight onto my MAC Studio Finish concealer. It's going to stick straight away to the concealer. Oh, sorry, I had like a little sneezing fit there. It's going to stick straight to the concealer, obviously because the concealer is that bit more tacky. And now what I'm doing is basically just sharpening up the edge of my two eyeshadows using number 84, which is a yellow, like a chrome yellow Inglot gel liner. This kind of just helps to obviously define the inner cut crease. It just gives it a little bit more of a kind of dramatic eye as well. So I applied my first layer of gel liner and I'm going in with a second layer just to make it that little bit more intense. My one tip would be to take your time when you're doing any detail work. Take your time doing your lines. Now I'm going back in again with some red eyeshadow and I'm just sharpening up that yellow liner because it's very, very hard to get a clean, very, very clean line just using one product. Again, I'm going back in with the darker brown just to make sure it's nice and strong on the opposite side of my chrome yellow line. Now I'm using the same liner, so it's number 84 from Inglot, and I'm popping it into the waterline. This is waterproof, so it shouldn't budge. I'm buffing out the gel liner using another Inglot eyeshadow, which is the 103 Or, which is a rainbow shadow. So it's a bright yellow eyeshadow that has 3 singular eyeshadows in it. Now what I'm doing is I'm getting a really, really soft, fluffy brush, and I'm getting 296 shadow, which again is the red, a little bit of 51, which is the orange, and I'm just buffing out that yellow. Now, my God, was this hard to do. It's so hard to record gel liner. So basically what I'm using here is my 77 Inglot gel liner. I popped a little bit of Duraline into it just to make it a little bit more, I suppose, easy to work with, but don't put too much Duraline in it either because it actually dilutes it and it does transfer it then. Moving on to my flick, I'm drawing out a little guideline. I'm going from about halfway into my guideline and I'm dragging with good pressure the whole way back along my lid until I meet the liner that I have already on my lid. Filling in that little space. Now I'm going to get a little bit of Duraline just to kind of elongate my flick and just really, really perfect it. When I create a look like this, it's usually a lot of kind of brushing and poking around the eye area, so I generally go for a waterproof mascara, especially with a look like this, just so if my eyes do leak, that there's not black running down my face. For lashes, I'm going to use my favourites, which are Rebelluna lashes. These are called Carly. Yeah, these are one of my favourites as well. They're not as huge as the Amelia's or the other Kate lashes, but Carly's are just as gorgeous. For my brows, I'm using just a little bit of hairspray and a spoolie. Since I've got my brows done semi-permanently, I don't actually use anything in them anymore, which is mad. I'm popping a little bit of mascara just on my own natural lash. I'm not actually putting it on the false lash, just to kind of make the natural lash and the falsie just stick together. For the lips, I'm using a Prolong Wear lip liner from MAC and I'm using Lady Danger lipstick. Both of these are kind of like an burnt orange colour, so they're really, really going to complement the eyes. I decided to go strong with the eyes and strong with the lips. Sure, why not? It might clash a little bit with my hair, but sure, hey, a little bit of clash can be good sometimes as well. The last thing I'm going to do for this whole look is I'm going to add in a few dots. I'm going to use the same 84 gel liner that I was using earlier. I'm going to start just dotting underneath my winged liner and then putting a few dots on inside on the inner crease as well. I know this kind of, the dotted look is very festival themed, so I suppose you could wear this look if you wanted for like a funky nighttime look, or you can turn it into a festival look by just simply adding a few dots. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing to my channel. I shall see you all soon.